You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
Commercial!
Into transmission.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are so glad that you are here. We are a live show and you can listen to us on 105.5 FM, 660 AM. You can also find us online at floridamanradio.com or download the Florida Man Radio app. You can even find us on the iHeartRadio app. So there's no excuse not to tune in. I am your host, Angela Smarito, and in studio with me, we have DJ Heather, the producer.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And behind the camera, doing a fantastic job at making us look great. Please welcome Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Hey, everybody.
So Striking Brand is producing our weekly YouTube videos of BaaD Radio, which you can find on baadradio.com. You can also see some other of Striking Brand's beautiful photos as well as videos on strikingbrand.com. And again, like I said, if you go to YouTube and find Striking Brand, you're going to see all the videos of previous BaaD Radio shows. So, and the video portion of BaaD Radio would not be possible without our sponsor, who's Dr. James Bowles. And currently he is with Lake Mary Chiropractor, but he is making a change. He is purchasing his own clinic. And so as we get more information on that, we are going to let everybody know where they can find Dr. James Bowles. He's an amazing chiropractor. He's helped my daughter, Anna, and my husband, Tom, out. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so please join me in welcoming our one and only guest today, Rinat Halot with Rinat Halon Photography. I'm saying Halon. I always want to say Halot, but it's Halon. How are you, dear?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very, very good. I was telling her how excited I am just to have the one single guest today. I really, really like it. And then, wait, hang on. So that's Rinat. And then we're going to get to Emily, but first we're going to thank our sponsors. So first up is Premier Couples Superstore. So cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Premier Couples Superstore has everything from sexy bedroom outfits, toys, games, and everything in between, because everybody knows that couples that stay together play together. And also a huge thank you to Liberty Property Inspections. They specialize in home and commercial building inspections, environmental inspections, roof certifications, and pool inspections. So you can find them at libertyinspections.net, or you can call 407-739-5795. And a huge thank you to Artistic Beauty, Kazoo Creative, and Do It Yourself Pest Control in Fern Park. All right, so now all the introductions are over. We're going to get to the fun part. We're going to talk about our bodies with Emily. So what's going on, girl?
Well, so this week we talked about doing a health segment specifically, and I wanted to talk about burnout, and that has been the theme that I have been on this year, and the base of my business, because that is where a lot of people come to me, where they're just maxed out and not sure where to go because the things that they have done in the past have not worked for them, and things are just compounding, escalating, amplified. And that's what happens when we just run at such a high pace for so long.
I know that personally.
right.
Everybody in this room does too.
It, right? Especially as business owners, salespeople, family, people. I mean, whether you're a man or a woman, if you are trying to do all of the things, which we all are sometimes, just to barely keep our heads above water, you're feeling that pressure. And your body is feeling that pressure. So today I'm going to give you 3 signs that you're burned out, and then 3 tips on what you could do to start managing this. All right. So number 1, you're less motivated to do things you usually do, even fun things, right? So have you ever been to a point where you're just like, I don't even want to do the thing. Like I know I'll be okay once I get there, but I don't even want to go. And that internal voice is like, that even getting daily. Ready for it. Right. And sometimes that's part of the problem too, is when we're overcommitted and we're doing all of these things, right, that we constantly have to say, get up and go do. You know, you don't want to do it, but you got to go do it. And the more times we have to do those kind of things, the harder it is to do the things we want to do.
Sometimes I won't even commit to a movie because I don't want to dedicate 2 hours of mental capacity on it.
If my husband is listening, he's laughing hysterically at you because he's like, how come you can watch like 3 shows, but if I tell you I want to watch a movie, you say no, like right away. I'm like,
oh, that's
it's
too
the
complicated.
commitment. He's
It's
like,
a commitment, yeah.
what if I just tell you it's a show? And he does trick me and like it run. I'm like, this is passing the hour mark. What's going on? Yes, he's like, I got you. All right. So you understand, like you know the feeling, right? So number 2, in a sign that you may be burned out, your performance is low. So easy tasks seem hard. Maybe you don't want to answer text messages, phone calls, emails. You start putting things off.
So preaching right now,
right? That
I'm
you're
sitting here
just
nodding, like,
these
to
are
everything.
easy tasks, but you're like, oh, every time, like, you know, these notifications and things come. And a big part of it is having our phone right with us all the time and never having a break from somebody having access to us. So we are not meant to, you know, have this influx of information, whether it be news, whether it be somebody asking us for something, whether it be somebody updating us on, you know, it's our brain always going off. I have some friends that used to own funeral homes and they're older and they used to have somebody that sat at their house to answer the phone. This was before answering machines. So you see how far like we've come in that, you know, you have an Apple Watch or something, it could just be dinging all day long and you're just constantly making decisions about things that we're just not supposed to process at such a fast pace. So number 3, this is where it starts affecting other people in your life. They may be telling you you're burned out because you're irritable, moody, and there's just a lack of joy, right? So you can go from angry to sad, maybe like, you know, infuriated and then crying and then maybe guilt struck because the people around you have to deal with what you're going through now also. So why does this happen as we get older? So I work with people, with women in particular that are going up into premenopause, perimenopause, and menopause. And these are times where our body actually takes on more stress. And so what we used to be able to handle isn't the same for us anymore. And you might want to think about, if you're a woman, you can think about how it was as a mom. Maybe you have teenage girls who are going through some of the things that you're feeling right now again, right? It comes back and we cycle back through this. And hormones are going crazy again. We need more stress. We need less stress. We need more sleep. We need more relaxation, right? And things that we're not getting, we keep adding more. Like we're we keep committing. And
either that or some of the stuff that we add stress. Not you're supposed to add like leisure and stuff like that, but it's just more stuff. So
right. It's like a vacation where you're going out of town, but now you have to think who's gonna walk my dogs, who's gonna take care of my kids, who's gonna all the things, right? And even over the past couple of years, like getting sick when you're traveling, like the C word, right? And you have to worry about all the things. It's not just let's take a break. So when you're used to being very high functioning, it becomes almost now another level of stress when you can't do the things. You have anxiety, you don't feel well. So 3 tips on how you can manage these. These are simple things. I'm not going, to get into anything major and crazy. But number 1 is fuel your body, right, for the activity that you need for your day. And if you are somebody who's used to being a high performing person in your business, in your family, in your life, right, I need you to think of yourself like an athlete, right? And you and I talked about this with your daughter this past week, just fueling your energy to be up for your day. Like if we're not eating and balancing our blood sugar and maintaining like the nutrition that goes into our body, our stress response is even worse. So you may be skipping meals thinking that, I'm being more productive with my time by not stopping and eating. However, you're like crashing and burning on all the other fronts in your life. So number 2 is to get some type of movement, right? It can be just walks. Walks are fine. It can be 5 to 10 minutes of stretching or yoga, something simple, but you've got to start moving your body and getting some of the junk out that's been like accumulating in your system. Right? This is going to help balance hormones. And then number 3 is sleep. We've got to get more sleep. And if that means just putting yourself to bed 15 minutes earlier or letting yourself sleep in 15 minutes early or later or at least one day where you're like, I'm not setting an alarm. I'm, blacking out my curtains in my bedroom, like telling the kids to watch TV, eat cereal, do whatever.
Right.
Don't bug me, threaten or bribe, right? If your kids are young, I know I used to be there too. And just like spending a day where you sleep in guilt-free. All right. So we've got to get rid of the guilt and forget that there are things that are not going to be done because eventually we're going to run ourselves down and we're going to get sick and you're not going to be able to be there for everyone, or you're just going to crash and burn. Or one day, your kids are going to be sitting in therapy going like, my life was miserable because my parents owned businesses or whatever and couldn't manage all the things and had no joy. And, so it's just, we've got to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. You're such an excellent teacher. I literally could sit there and listen to you talk about what seems so basic, and our struggle to make our bodies a priority. So I'm definitely going to do some clips from this and do some features on it because I think that it's fantastic. So thank you for that. And then you guys, Emily is available. So
if you suspect that any of this stuff is from hormone related issues and you're getting up into the ages like I talked about and you're a woman that just feels like everything is changing. You can't get a hold of things. Go to my website, gogetemcoach.com and take my hormone quiz. And let's talk about some of the things that you can take back in your life and get you feeling better and back on track like you used to be.
Thank you so much. That's so great. Up next is our BaaD business feature. It's a BaaD business tip feature. So I really enjoy this because I get some great input on social media, and this week we had a lot of good conversation. So last week our winner was attorney Brooke Bolts, and she said, treat clients how you want to be treated. Basic, but so incredibly important. So this week, our BaaD business tip had some emotion behind it, and I'm sure there was a backstory, but I picked it because you could feel their passion. So our BaaD business tip was submitted by Michael Palma with Palma Productions, which is a digital communications marketing firm. So yay, Michael. We will announce, you got the mention now, and then you're going to get a shirt. Thank you. And we'll talk some more. So this is what Michael says. He said, stop caring about and wasting time on others who provoke you. You waste time, energy, and creating negative mental blockades against being who you truly are and being efficient at who you want to be or who you need to be. Now, there was a lot more to that, but that's the gist of it. So as a business person, we have all sorts, like Emily was saying, all this information coming to us at all different directions. And some of it's not positive. I'm sure you've been in that situation, right?
Actually, a couple of days ago. Yes.
And Emily, you too. I know that sometimes not everything goes according to plan. So how do we block that? How do we not, because you can get 35 positive comments and you get that one negative one, and that's all that you focus on. So what are some of the things that we can do to help us?
Don't read the comments.
Yeah, that's one. We got to put on some blinders and have some tough skin. My daughter went through it this week, even at the high school. They have a crowd of people at the high school that they choose that are like cheerleaders, and they're seniors, and it's this whole thing. Well, they don't really do their job well, I guess. They don't show up or they leave games early. And so she wanted to make a new club that would do this. And it raised a bunch of stink, and people had Snapchat image. She was showing me some of the backlash she was getting, and it really upset her at first. And then what happened, though, they had a meeting and they started showing up and doing what they were supposed to do.
Nice. So the outcome was what it needed to be.
Yeah, and she ended up not starting her own club, but it gave, it got what she wanted, right?
That's awesome.
And sometimes it's just like, what can we find that's positive in it, or what maybe we might tweak? And if it's just haters, let them be haters.
There was another person that commented on there. They said, if you don't have haters, you're not doing a good job.
Yeah, that's
That is
exactly,
right.
yeah.
I will say we had a woman very upset in the studio a couple days ago. Something never happened to me. She walked out, and I was blown away. I gave it 24 hours, and I gave her a call, and I said, listen, I just want to know what happened, and I want to make it right. How can I make this right? And turns out she wasn't upset with us. She was going through something. She was really upset. She apologized. She's coming back, so we resolved it.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
awesome.
yeah. Sometimes it's a matter of just kind of going, okay, well, if I call and she beats me up, that's okay.
Right.
But always know other
you know,
people are going through their own crap,
Right, that's
and they're not on
exactly.
the same level as you, and who knows why they're lashing out.
Yeah.
So we are actually coming up to a break, and I want you guys to listen to this because when we get back, we are going to do an announcement on we're giving away a prize today, and so you want to
Prize
get.
day.
I know, I love that. And then I really want to. We're going to dive into some stuff with Rinat, and just think about how important a good headshot is. So think about that, and when we come back from break, we're going to do the announcement on how you win the prize and what the prize is. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back to BaaD Radio. And just a reminder, you can call or text in at any time to 321-339-1055. And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Impact Electric of Orlando, who focuses on residential and commercial electrical work. I spoke to Zach, the owner of Impact Electric, and right now he is looking for new hires. So I happen to know that Zach takes incredible care of his employees, and having a career as an electrician is a guarantee that you're going to be making a good living. If you or anyone you know is looking for a career in electrical field, call me or Zach. You can call Zach at 747-0874. Also, want to thank Andrews Law PA, Renee Sterling with South State Bank, our mortgage professional, and Sheepdog Promotional Products. All right, everybody listen to these words: certified craftsman photographer. All right, so I'm going to say it again: certified craftsman photographer. All right, so before we jump into this or not, let's let everybody know what they are texting or calling in to win.
Well, it's what we did today is a gift card for a beauty session in our studio. It's a $700 gift card. It includes a design and styling consultation. It includes professional hair and makeup in our studio.
Oh, okay.
And it's a fun day. And it's about a 3-hour photo shoot. And it also includes a $500 portrait credit. So
Wow.
it is
Oh my gosh.
amazing gift.
Okay, so again, starting now, call or text in to our 321-339-1055. Again, that's 321-339-1055. And I believe what we agreed on doing is if you call in, the first caller is going to win this prize. But if you guys are too shy, because I know that happens, then we'll select a winner from the text.
Oh, don't be shy. It's worth it.
So before we get started, because I know Rinat had given me some insight on some questions to ask, but really what I wanted to do is start about how you got into photography.
Oh, gosh. Well, I went to college, and I was going to be an engineer.
Are you from this area?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
I am originally from Israel.
Oh,
And,
okay.
uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and my dad lives in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up between Tel Aviv, Israel with my mom and Columbus, Ohio with my dad.
Fascinating.
And yes, and when it was time to go to college, I did decide to go to the Ohio State University, where my dad went to college, and I was going to be an engineer, just like my father. And I had no idea what that meant, but that's what I thought.
I know what you mean.
Well, at the time, the Ohio State had about 60,000 students and no available classes at all for engineering. I mean, and they said, just take some electives. I said, all right. So I took French and something else, sociology. And I said, photography 101, I guess. My mom likes to photograph, whatever. Yeah, really. And this is back in film days, and we had to purchase a real camera for the class. And as soon as they put the camera in my hands in the camera store, I was like, okay, I have got to understand how you create art from this thing.
Right.
And that's what happened. That's it. I never looked back. Turns out, I mean, for me, it was the best thing because I do have I kind of work on both sides of my brain. So that's why I could have been an engineer, but I kind of used those skills within photography and combined with the artistic part of my brain. So it works perfect for me. So So that's how it all started. Yeah,
That's
about
awesome.
it.
So the fact that your other classes were completed is what kind of put you in it. I think you would find photography anyway, to be honest with you.
It was a true surprise for me, I'll tell you what. I never in my life thought I was going to be a professional photographer, and here we are 26 years
So it's
later.
been 26 years.
Yes, so it's
Well,
definitely it.
Let's tell everybody about your studio, because I've never been there, but I've seen all the pictures. So tell me how that works. Just the studio in itself. It's at your home, right?
It is at my home every time. So I've been doing 26 years. I've lived in several different places, including internationally. I lived in Israel. I lived in Russia for a few years, and
Really?
I photographed.
Russia?
Yeah, and I photographed all over. But every time I go, I just kind of set up a studio wherever I'm at. I find a place that has a space that I can set up the studio somewhere within my home, and it just works so great for me that I really have not found a reason to leave my home yet. People come in, they love it. It's nice. It's convenient. Our living area is separated from the studio.
It's funny. My house is the same, and I've been to your studio, so my house is the same way. And I think, and mine is like I train people in my home before, but I don't even know what else I do with that area.
Right?
I'm like, why do people have 2 living rooms?
Right? Exactly. Yeah. And every time I'm thinking about renting a space outside of my home, something happens where I'm like, I need to stay here. Like a woman came in who was actually a podcaster and forgot her props for the shoot. She forgot the microphone and the headset. Well, my husband happens to have a headset. Yeah. I happen to have a microphone, but that's only at home. If I was in a studio somewhere outside, I wouldn't have it.
Right.
So I've pulled jewelry before for women. I mean, I have people coming hungry. I opened a fridge and cooked something. It's like, so it works great.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. I know when I saw Jen Andrews, she's one of our sponsors. When I saw her professional photos, I was floored.
Yes.
They were, and the thing is like you captured her personality and I'm gonna say it, her badassness, if that's a word, it is now, because she looked like a boss.
She is. So, I do a lot of work before I ever pick up a camera with the people I'm going to photograph. So we go through a lot of understanding who they are. Jen is an example, just talking with her. There's a discovery call that I do where I pull out all the information I kind of need to understand.
So this is prior to the photo session?
Before I ever pick up a camera. And then when they come in, usually just looking at them and knowing everything I know and kind of understanding it, I say, all right, this is what we're going to do. And usually it works out great. So
yeah, no, that was fantastic. So we talked about, now I also wanted to talk a little bit because, I've had the privilege of knowing Rinat for, I guess it's been at least a year to a year and a half now. And we did a one-to-one, and she was talking to me about her experience with lighting. So I know you didn't, this is not on your list of questions,
That's
girl,
okay.
but
it was suggested. It was just suggested.
Yeah.
I figured we'll find something to talk about.
Because I don't think that some people understand the importance of lighting in photography.
Oh, that's it. That's it. So I taught at Rollins Continuing Education for 3 years. I taught basic photography, and I wrote a book based on that. And
I think that that's fascinating.
My book is on Amazon. It's called "What's Wrong with My Camera," but because that's what I would say to people, "Why are you here?" And they'd say, "Well, something's wrong with my camera," and I'm like, that's probably you. So
Funny. In my world, it would be like, what's wrong with my body?
Yeah, pretty much. So I and in the book I say it's all about lighting. Honestly, I could take a great picture with any camera. It doesn't matter what it is if I have my lighting done perfectly. And being a certified professional photographer means I'm one of 2,500 people or so around the world that passed this certification exam, which is very, very difficult because it's all about lighting ratios and a lot of math.
Wait, so back up. So there's only 2,500 people in the world that have this certification.
Or so. It might have grown a little bit, but yes. Yeah.
So that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it.
I would be too.
I gotta say. But it means that I master lighting. I know how to create any lighting scenarios, or any lighting situations in my studio using lights. So
do you bring a lot of lights in, or do you have natural light at your house, or a combo of both?
So within my studio, I really love using my lights because the thing about natural light, which I love, I mean, come on, God
Timing
created
has
this.
to be.
Well, yeah, it's like the thing about natural light, it's also called available light. And available light, what happens when it's not available?
Right,
Like, what do you do then? So
Right.
I just like to create natural light. I think that works better for me. And I just use lights to create natural light. But yeah, sometimes we go out, but even like I just did a family beach session and I had a light with me because there was a certain thing. We had all this natural light and my light.
So I'm curious too, do you see the pictures in your head before you take them?
Every single one is
And
completely
so when you're
planned.
like building, when you're doing that one-to-one with that, with your client, and you're looking at like whatever their Facebook pictures and their conversation, do you actually like visualize it? And then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to make this happen.
So I usually don't look at them, interestingly enough, on purpose. I really don't want to see them before I see them. It's because that kind of kills my imagination.
Really?
Yeah, it turns it off. So I talk with them and I love speaking with them. But I know exactly, like I'm working right now in a personal branding photography shoot for a new office. And I mean, I knew as soon as we started talking and they're answering my questions, I knew exactly what we're going to do. And the shot list would just kind of build itself in my head. So,
So I'm going to say that the call-in again so that everybody knows. So right now, you guys, you need to either call or text in to 321-339-1055. And again, that is, what did we say? We said, I'm going to get it wrong. I'm under pressure.
It's certified is the certification I have, and craftsman is the other word.
Photographer. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So I want to talk about the different, not packages, and I'm not going to call them packages. We have 1 minute left and then we're going to go to break, but when we come back, but I want to talk to everybody about the different experiences. So I know that there's portraits or headshots. I know that there's family. You just talked about a beach shoot. So I really want to dive into all the different options that people have for Rinat Halon photography. So, all right,
great.
We're going to hop to break. And so stay tuned, guys, because like I said, we are going to be awarding a prize, and then we're going to talk more with Rinat.
Florida Man Radio.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back. You can call or text in at any time to 321-339-1055. And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. We are in that time of the year where you can get 1 to 4 inches of rain in just a couple of hours, and then the next day your sprinklers kick on and you've wasted water and you've wasted electricity. So if you don't have a water sensor, call Rick Hall with Ground Up Property Services today at 407-468-4295, or go to groundupinc.net. And I also would like to thank Four Seasons AC, who is keeping us nice and cool today.
Yeah, I'm hogging the AC today. It's all for me.
Angela Keen's Hair and Makeup. And new to BaaD Radio, please welcome 33 Tanning Spa with locations in Altamont Springs and in Longwood. So during break, we got a call. So let's talk to our listener.
All right, Carolyn, you're on the air.
Hi, Carolyn. Thank you for listening to BaaD Radio. So you have the keywords, right?
I believe I do.
Okay.
Certified craftsman photographer.
Yay!
Good job.
Carolyn, thank you so much for listening. And also thank you for calling, because I always worry about people being too nervous about calling. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that prize on the air now, but I will get your information and then we will call you back and get that whole prize set up. So thanks again, Carolyn. Is she still there? Oh. Sorry.
She'll hear.
Okay.
Heather will take care of it.
Okay, thanks so much. Yes, I'm still working on the whole call and, making it all nice and smooth. So.
It's all good. That was
we
great.
got a winner.
Yeah, we got a winner. She called, and I can
Clean
tell you
winner,
from
too.
listening to her, this woman was not ashamed to call in. So good for her. Yes.
All right, so let's jump back in with Rinat, and what we were talking about, and what I really wanted to talk about is the different programs and the different. I don't. Do you call them sessions? How do you refer to them?
Well, yeah, different sessions that we do. So, Yeah, we do. We have we do a lot of headshots, which even headshots is something that is different probably than any other headshot that you've seen. I mean, it's more vested than any regular headshots, and people love them. We do our custom sessions, our beauty sessions for women, which I absolutely love because that's so empowering and such a wonderful experience for the women. And I personally am all for it.
Oh my God! I
every
saw
time.
your shirt that says I'm not photogenic, and then Renat says "Hold my beer." That was on her shirt.
It's on our
Nice,
shirts.
nice.
Yeah, it's our tagline for the studio.
I love it.
I just heard it so many times. I mean, people call in and say I'm not photogenic, so it's on our shirt. It says, "Client,
beer."
I'm not photogenic. Rinat Halon photography. Hold my beer." That's which is true because everybody is photogenic. I did a YouTube about that. I think a couple months ago. It's on my YouTube channel about being photogenic is a myth. It's a myth.
So
Well,
all the
let's put it-
bad photos that we take, it's actually the person who's taking the photos' fault.
I'm gonna say correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I want to put that in Business at a Distance. So let's talk
Yeah.
about afterwards because
Okay.
I would love to put a link to that YouTube video. in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
group.
it really is. I mean, it's and I talk about it more in length. So we do beauty for women. Like I said, we do family pictures, which I love as well. We do extended family pictures, which that's so much fun.
What do you mean, like?
I'm talking
grandma,
grandma,
grandpa?
grandpa, nieces, nephews.
Have you ever had like
everybody.
big old brawls, family feuds?
No,
photo
they
session?
come in to have fun. I mean,
Okay.
by the time we're doing the shoot, we prep everybody. Everybody's ready. Everybody knows what their part is, what they're doing, and it's almost like a big family reunion with a photo shoot, and it's so much fun. They love it. So, so we do that, and also my baby and what I specialize in is personal branding photography.
Okay.
It's something that I believe
Is that what Jen Andrews
wholeheartedly-
would fall under, personal branding?
she did lifestyle branded portraits, so
Okay.
that's close enough. It's more of a portrait in the studio. Personal branding photography is creating those hook images for a website or a social media that would make a potential client actually stop and then come in and look more. But today, in this day and age where we meet our clients for the first time online most of the
Absolutely,
time, there has to be a picture that's a hook that is beyond a beautiful picture. It's a picture, I say it's a picture with a job. It needs to stop someone. So back in college, I did research and wrote a thesis about the influence of photography on purchasing behavior. And then about 10 years later, I created the personal branding photography system. And I take small businesses through the system to understand what we need to photograph for them that would actually hook their target audience and actually make anybody who's not their target audience not click at the same time.
Really?
So not waste their time. Yeah.
Right.
All through a picture. So it's less about quantity. It's not a million pictures on the website. It's more about quality. These hook shots. Think like, the cover shot of a website, the cover shot of a social media. So yeah, it's I love that.
Can you look at baadradio.com and tell me if it looks okay?
I can look at it, but it's a matter of understanding what it is that you're trying to do. I mean, I can't say, just like that, just by looking at it. I'm getting ready to speak in front of a dentist organization over at Brevard County. So what I do before I speak to about branding photography. So what I do before I speak to specific organization that I don't know much. I mean, what do I know about dentists except going right as a patient? So I like to talk to a couple of people, and I have spoken to 2 or 3 dentists from the organization and kind of took them through a little bit of the process, and then I can actually comment. This is great. This is wonderful. I would do here 1, 2, 3, and take it to the next level.
No, I think that's awesome because it's gonna if it's pictures of them in their clinic or whatever, that's a heck of a lot more impactful than what do they call it, stock video or stock
Oh
photos.
my gosh! Don't get me started. Yes. So first of all, yes, you're right. But it's when people ask me what are you going to photograph for me, I always say I don't know until we go through the process. It could be you. It could be purple flying zebras through the sky. I have no idea. It really depends.
That'd
I
be
don't know. So, but yeah, stock photos. I mean, so the only way I would use stock photos on a website is like if I really needed a picture, for example, of a shark coming towards me,
Like
right?
Oh, you mean you don't want to look at that in life?
Simulate, right?
Yes, I do not want to photograph it. I do know some photographers that absolutely do that, so I'm going to be calling them and going, "Hey, I need a picture from you," you know. But in terms of stock photos, the thing about these pictures usually is that they're just so perfect. They're not real, and we connect and do business with people we know, like, and trust.
I came across 2 businesses in this market that use the same stock photo.
Oh, yes. So when I started doing this 10 years ago, what got me started with the personal branding photography is I moved somewhere new, and you know how you move somewhere new, and you ask for referrals, dentist, accountant, right? Whatever. And what do you do once you get the referrals, right? You Google them. I mean, I Google everybody.
Yeah.
So I started Googling. This was like 12 years ago, I think now. And after the 3rd website that I Googled, and they weren't the same profession. It was different professions. They were all using the same stock photo. And I was thinking, what? Like, who are you? Why would I want to use you?
Yeah.
And who cares? It must have been on sale, like in the region at the time. And I said, just the thing is that small businesses don't understand how to do it, and that's okay.
Right.
You know, big businesses, when we all went online, for big businesses, it was such a smooth transition because, you know, they hire an advertising company and they have a marketing department and they're doing great. But small businesses had no idea how to go from I'm meeting you in person, you're walking into my store after looking at my window displays, you know, to what do I put on my website, you know, to make you actually come in. Right?
Yeah. I think that's great. And that's actually one portion of your business that I didn't really know about.
Yeah. I love that. It is such a huge, huge deal. And when I get clients that understand how amazing it is, and we go full creative with it, it's just incredible. It's to see the results, to see how it's working for them. I love it.
Nice.
And so we are in just about September. Let's talk about seasonal photos. 'Cause I know we talked about this on break. And you're like, if you're going to do it, you need to get your ass in gear, right?
Yeah, right now. Right now, call me. Yeah, I have people calling me in November or even in December, and they're like, hey, I want to do Christmas pictures. I'm like, great, for 2023.
They want the feeling and the ambiance of the Christmas stuff, but you got to fake it now so you have the, the stuff ready.
Well, the thing is, you know, so first of all, our studio normally books about 4 weeks out. When it comes to seasonal pictures, like right now, we are in August, and I have until the end of the year, I have 4 weekend sessions left open. That's it. I think 4 or 3. I told you
You said
during the
3.
break. 3. Okay, 3. I have 3. And I mean, that's going to be gone in a heartbeat. And usually families do want to do weekends. So yes, if you want to do it, I'm going to say pick up the phone right now.
Right.
And
tell
call
everybody
the photographer.
what number to call right now. Do it.
It's 407-607-0206. And yes, 407-607-0206. Give us a call, and we'll get you on the calendar for some family pictures.
Awesome. So you mentioned grandma and grandpa. What about pets? Do people bring their pets in?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, absolutely. We love it. So dogs. And then usually people are so concerned because they're like, how is it going to work? My dog never sits down. And I always say, well, don't worry about
Can
it.
you imagine Tank?
Oh my
There you go.
gosh. No, you don't want.
She's got a bulldog. It's just hilarious.
He's nuts.
Well, that's what I always say. Yeah. And this is everyone's reaction. And I always say, it's okay. We use super glue. We're just going to glue him to the floor. Don't worry about it. It's going to be great.
Our tranquilizer. Dope them up.
But no, I've been working with pets for so many years that I know how to do it. It's a very quick thing, and the pets come in and they're part of the whole experience. And I mean, they are part of the family. So
I know mine are. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other funny things that people have requested? I'm
Does
just
anybody
curious.
what's the weirdest animal? Like, does anybody
Snake?
bring their?
Oh, not yet. But I did photograph someone with a snake. That was many years ago.
I don't think I can handle
that was
a snake.
outdoors.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the studio. Yeah. Here's another one that I wouldn't do. Yeah.
Right.
That's
I mean,
a
there's
tough
certain
one.
things where you got to draw the line. You know what I mean? Like as far as that goes. Okay, so if somebody wants to do,
What's
and
the
then,
weird request? Or
what's the weirdest thing you think?
I'm trying to think. We just had somebody bring an animal, and I'm trying to think what it's called, and I'm totally blanking on it. It's
Like a lizard or a
no, it's not. It's like a squirrel-looking thing. What is it?
Chinchilla.
No, what the
guinea pig?
No, what we had.
Oh, the flying squirrels?
No, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, those are flying squirrels.
No,
but you
no,
said not
sugar
a squirrel.
glider.
Sugar glider.
Probably so. I don't
Is
remember what
small
it's
or
called.
big?
No, it's like it
She
looks.
said it.
I can't think. No, it's not big.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like, well, anyway, I'll find it and I'll find it over break. I can't. Who said that? Ferret. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Ferret.
Oh.
Yes.
Look at it.
Thank
takes
you.
1, 2, 3,
It's
4,
long.
5.
Winner, charades.
Ferret. Thank you.
Radio charades
Yes.
here.
Yeah. So we had a ferret running around.
Oh my gosh.
You know, usually it's the babies that are the hardest, you know, to hold on, and you can't put those on a leash, right? So yeah.
That's frowned upon.
I'm just curious. I mean, you have so much. So let us know, what is one of the biggest thing that you've learned in your 25 years of experience?
Oh my gosh. Two things. Well, and they're connected. For women, generally speaking, we still, as women, don't speak up our minds enough yet. And when I talk about photography, for example, when I have women coming in for a beauty session and they're thinking about, we're talking about doing a wall art piece for them. For them, they're scared of what people are going to say, like they're going to appear vain about it.
Yes.
Right? Yep. And I keep saying that is so, I mean, this is so inspiring. You know, I had a woman that went through an awful divorce, and I wanted her to have a beautiful piece of her by her mirror so she sees it every morning when she gets up. And life is not easy, right? I mean, she's not all made up and looks beautiful every morning. And I wanted her to remember what she looks like and how amazing it is.
I think that's beautiful.
So things like that. We have, I photographed a speaker, and she created a planner. And we photographed her with the planner, and it's a business wall art, piece of wall art. And she loves it because every time she walks into her office in the morning, it's something to inspire her to keep doing her thing. So I really wish, I'm working on getting women away from, you know, worrying about what the world will think about them.
Yeah. So where are we at? You said 1 minute left in the show. All right. So sorry, I got distracted. So tell everybody how to get in touch with you, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up.
My website is rinathalon.com, RINATHALON.com, or my number is 407-607-0206.
And Emily?
GoGet'emCoach.com, or you can find me on Facebook at resetwithemily.com.
And Melissa, real quick.
My name is Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand. You can find me Striking Brand on all social media.
And you can find me at BaaDradio.com. So thank you so much for joining, and all the texts. And Carolyn, congratulations on winning.
Yes.
All right. See y'all next week.